Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, August 8, 2017. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday on Monday expressed his frustration over what he deemed as the deterioration of the nation's health sector. Noting that the government continues to fail in providing basic healthcare services to citizens, Dr. Friday said healthcare should be a national priority, and he's encouraging Vincentians to demand better from the government.
It really is. It's a matter of national priority. Right now, it's gotten to the point where, people's lives are in jeopardy.
Oh, yes.
And I think, as I said in my program on Friday,
yes,
the situation is not going to change unless people really become righteously indignant about it and say, listen, we're not going to stand for it anymore.
Well, exactly, yeah.
This is a point where now we have to say, take care of it. Irrespective of your political affiliation, you must stand up and say, no, we cannot have a situation where the health care system is deteriorated to the point where you can't be guaranteed basic health care
exactly.
treatment in our hospitals. I mean, I saw a lady from Beckway who had been already prepared for surgery last week. And she got ready for surgery and they had to take the tape off, take out the IV and all that stuff and tell her that they can't have the surgery anymore.
Yes.
She has to go home. Well, they told her to go back to the ward, but she checked herself out.
Yeah.
Because it's a situation there where they don't know when. They say, well, when are we going to have the surgery? We don't know when.
Deeming the service provided by the healthcare sector as unacceptable, the opposition leader said the government's fancy talk is no longer cutting it.
It's unacceptable, and it's not going to change until people really say, it's too much, it's gone too far, we have
very
to do
much
something
so
about it.
Yeah.
And all this talk and excuses and all that stuff, it doesn't cut it. When you get sick, you don't need excuses, you need medical treatment.
That's right.
You go to the hospital, it affects everybody,
yes,
or anybody, irrespective of age, gender, political affiliation, religious affiliation.
Yes.
You are at risk, and until you do something about it, it's not going to change. How can we exist like that? I mean, government has a responsibility to take care of security, healthcare, and education for the people. That's how we have, that's a compact our people have made with government over the years.
Yes.
And this government here is basically reneged on it, and all they're doing is making excuses. All the fancy talk and so on makes no difference to somebody who goes down to the hospital.
Yeah.
And at a media conference on Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves encouraged pregnant women here to regularly seek the services provided at their district clinics, noting that the government is concerned about the issue of infant mortality.
But 99% of the women, 99% of the births, are attended by skilled personnel. What I want the women, when they're pregnant, to do is to make sure you find yourself on an ongoing basis to the clinic within half an hour by minibus. Is the furthest distance you will find from any clinic in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So there's no reason you shouldn't be getting the care on an ongoing basis. So the mothers themselves, or prospective mothers, have to be very responsible in relation to their children.
Highlighting a recent report which indicated that 6.2% of the population is below the dietary energy consumption level, the Prime Minister said even with this number, SVG is still in a better position than the bulk of member states of CARICOM.
The FAO has the number a little smaller, lower than that. But interestingly, this number is better than Trinidad, which got more money than us, which is 7.4%, below the minimum dietary level. Better than Suriname, which is 8%. Better than Jamaica, which is 8.1%. Well, Haiti is a little bit of an outlier, 53.4% below the dietary level. Guyana, 10.6%. Belize is the same like us, and Barbados is at 5%. So you're talking about the dietary level which, as you see, puts us far better than the bulk of CARICOM.
On the matter of student loans repayment raised at Monday's media conference, the Prime Minister encouraged persons here who have not been making their payments in a timely manner or not at all to get in touch with the entity which granted them the loan so that they can work out an arrangement to regularize their payments. At a media conference on Monday, PM Gonsalves said there may be many reasons why a person may be unable to make their payment, adding that the student loan company is there to provide assistance to such persons.
There are ways and means for you to work with them and restructure your loan. You may find somebody who is paying and for some reason they have stopped. Maybe they have an illness in the family and the money has to all go towards dealing with overseas medical attention. There may be some emergency of some kind which necessitates the missing some payments, that it goes into delinquency after the 6-month period. So I want you who are listening to me, go. Just go to who lend you the money and to the student loan company. Forget about all the theories and all the expressions of this or that advice you're getting on social media. You just do what is right and proper as I'm advising you.
The Prime Minister also advised persons whose payments have since been brought up to date to get in touch with Students Loan Company to ensure everything has been sorted out.
Publish a number of names, but it must not be assumed that all the names which were published are names of students who are in arrears, because there are some students there who are not in arrears, but they have not been in touch with the student loan company for several pieces of information which are required. And they were written to, and they haven't responded. You borrow money, you must keep in touch with your lender.
Dr. Gonsalves said government will this year increase its tuition scholarships to disadvantaged students from 70 to 114. The Prime Minister noted that the government has so far granted over $90 million to assist students, adding that this is an example of their commitment to education.
When we sold 51% of the National Commercial Bank, we started the student loan company, because we used to function with the student loan arrangement through the National Commercial Bank. And that's it. And since 2002, both before the student loan company was formed, when you just had a student loan committee, and after the student loan company was formed, as Minister of Finance, I've guaranteed over $90 million for students going to study. I want that number to sink in. I'm investing, this government is investing in the future, the young people of this country. Absolutely committed to it.
Educator and local trade unionist Philbert John says the vandalism of school furniture is a perennial problem which must be curbed. Commenting on a video which recently surfaced on social media showing students willfully damaging school furniture, John, speaking on WeFM's Issues at Hand program on Sunday, August 6th, noted that he has brought the issue of concern to light on numerous occasions with little or no action taken.
Former Minister Mike Brown was Minister of Education. I brought it to his attention. I suggested, I said, Mike, because I know him as Mike from the trade union thing, we need to engage in a national campaign against vandalism. And he didn't think it was that bad. And what we are seeing here, we can multiply that by 20, 25, 26, by the number of schools we have. It is truly amazing how our schools are vandalized. This is only a very small part of it. Teachers Union had a conference on education some years ago, and a paper was presented on the scourge of vandalism in our schools. Photographs were shown. So even the teachers' union understand the problem and was trying and is still trying to address it. We have a certain kind of children in our school system. It's difficult to keep them under total control.
The educator went on to say that there needs to be some sort of action taken, as many students have a don't care attitude and are of the view that the government has to repair the damaged furniture.
The difference can be made at the school level. Once they put certain management systems in place, it can reduce, if not eliminate, the incidents of vandalism. And the examples we see here, or we read about in social media, what we see here in the Searchlight. This is just one example. I mean, this is destruction of furniture. We have damage to lighting, to electrical fittings, strip fixtures, windows. I think the biggest one for me, more than anything, is graffiti. And I spent 2 weeks at one.
You mean graffiti in general or graffiti in the school?
Graffiti in the school. We talk about the school system,
okay.
Right? In some schools, the graffiti, which is markings on the wall,
and is it in the schools or in the
classrooms?
Also stressing the need for parents to get on board instead of refusing to assist if and when their children have been caught vandalizing school property. John further shared his view on students being prosecuted according to the criminal code.
Does something that can be considered criminal within the context of a school. I think generally we have a difficulty in suggesting criminal charges, because the idea of bringing young people that age before the law, giving them a criminal record or put them through the criminal justice system, is not something I personally find appealing, and I don't think most educators that I know don't think we should go that route. We should try to find some other way within the context of the school discipline, the school rules, the policies of the Ministry of Education to deal with these. It is difficult because sometimes we need witness, and other children are prepared to come forward and say, well, this is the person who did it. On rare occasions you get that. And once, as far as I know, once it is determined that it can be proved an individual is responsible for some act of vandalism, it is dealt with. They have to either repay or repay, as the case may be.
Human development consultant and host of the Issues at Hand radio program, Cecil Ryan, said students who are guilty of vandalism should be held responsible for their actions.
Why would you thought in 14, 15 or 10-year-old want to go and damage school furniture? I understand your point, and I share it to an extent. But the point is that we have to teach people to be young people to be responsible and to have a certain sense of discipline and respect, really. Because it's not only respect for property, disrespect for property, but it means you can translate it into disrespect for other persons, their peer, their parents, community, and so on. That's what we're seeing, It's not necessarily, it's just total bad behavior and out of control kind of behavior, Pijan. So whereas I sympathize with your view, I challenge that we must find a way to get these youngsters to be more respectful and to behave in more responsible ways.
Guest panelist on Sunday's program, Mikhail Akers, shared the view of Ryan, noting that students should be taught a lesson when they are found guilty of vandalizing school property.
Because traditionally we've been doing nothing, and what it has gotten us to is that we're still having a lot of damaged furniture at the end of every school term. The government have to replace furniture. Basically, every new school
year. Not just furniture.
The desk for the teacher and so forth. Yeah. And as you see, the graffiti. And if we're doing, if we just can do upset and say, well, we'll just replace it or we'll just paint it back. We'll continue to have this problem where every year the children just go and just destroy the furniture, etc. And we need to make examples of some of them. We don't necessarily have to charge them the 500 directly, but we might put them in the place that they have to go and paint it, or they have to go to a joiner shop and assist in building back the furniture, something along that line. You understand? Right. Some kind of holiday, something.
A SUSU arrangement cannot work unless everyone accepts their obligations. That's according to Queen's Counsel Panel Campbell QC as he spoke on his Law and Due program last evening on SVG-TV, discussing the legal issues surrounding a SUSU arrangement. Campbell noted that a SUSU scheme is a way by which the poor can make headway in life, adding that many children have been the beneficiaries of their parents being part of such an arrangement.
Many of us who are from the poorer classes are the beneficiaries of SUSU hands which our parents were involved in. Sometimes that is the only way the poor can make headway. But a SUSU cannot work if everybody doesn't accept their obligations and do what they're supposed to do on time. Because when the time comes for you to get your hand, you want all your money.
The Queen's Counsel added that the timing of the payment and collection of one's hand is also of critical importance of a SUSU arrangement.
Because the person who is collecting that hand has already made plans for the money. Not only you should throw your hand, but you should throw your hand on time. So if the arrangement is that the monies are to be paid every payday, when the payday comes, don't make an excuse and tell the person who is supposed to get that money, oh, wait till day after tomorrow. No. The time is crucial. The time of payment, of collecting a hand, is crucial to the success of a SUSU scheme.
The veteran lawyer added that a SUSU arrangement is built on trust, noting that whilst no legal documents are traditionally drawn up, the arrangement can still be enforced by the courts.
You don't go to a lawyer's office and sign a SUSU agreement. I know no such creature. You get together at your workplace and you decide how much each person would contribute, and you have a table of payments. So who will get the first hand, second hand, third hand, fourth hand, fifth hand, and then the SUSU turns around. Clear understanding. But it depends on trust. And the courts will enforce a SUSU arrangement once there is evidence as to what were the terms of that arrangement, and once there is evidence of default by the person or persons who failed to carry out their obligations.
The year 2017 marks the 220th anniversary of the attempted genocide, forced migration and subsequent resettlement of the Garifuna people to countries in Central America. To this end, the Regional Integration and Diaspora Unit, RIDU, is hosting a group of 60 representatives of Garifuna organizations from Belize, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and the USA. The event, dubbed the Pilgrimage of the Garifuna Diaspora to SVG, will feature a number of activities over the next few days. On Thursday, August 10th, there will be a Garifuna Mass in memory of their ancestors at the St. Mary's Cathedral of the Assumption, Kingstown, at 3:30 p.m. Then at 6 p.m., there will be an opening ceremony at the Peace Memorial Hall, where Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves will be the featured speaker. The visiting delegation will also be engaged in a series of visits to Byra, Rabaka, Sandy Bay, Fort Charlotte, Fancy, among others. The delegation is expected to leave the state on August 15th. And a number of children here are participating in a summer camp hosted by the Yuga Care, a cultural retrieval organization visiting SVG. Director of Yuga Cure, Trish St. Hill, said the organization has been coming to SVG over the past 6 years, where they have exposed children to different aspects of the Garifuna culture.
And the workshop comprised of drumming, the music, you know, they have to learn the songs, the language, the dances in Garifuna. So we even introduced some of the foods that are no longer here, does not exist in St. Vincent and the Grenadines anymore. So that's what we've been doing here. We've been here since Monday. We're going to be conducting a 2-week workshop, started on Monday of August the 7th, and it would end on August the 18th. Then on August 20th at 3 p.m. we're going to be having a concert at Peace Memorial Hall, and that concert is like the grand finale. This is where we get to show the children, the country rather, you know, what the children have been doing. So you get a chance to attend this free concert at Peace Memorial Hall on the 20th at 3 p.m.
Language facilitator Christine Vernon explained that over the 2-week period, her focus will be on teaching the children basic Garifuna language. This, she said, is in keeping with the organization's efforts to keep the Garifuna culture alive.
This is a brief introduction to this program, which is starting at the initial. Today we learn how to pronounce the vowels A, E, I, O, U when it's used in Garifuna words. And during the week, this week and next week, we will go on to learn like the days of the months of the year, how to count, simple everyday language and the everyday conversation in the Garifuna language. And I hope that by the end of the 2 weeks, our kids who are here for the very first time would have a little grasp of the introduction to the Garifuna language. The kids who have been here for 4 or 5 years, they are more advanced. They can pretty much have a very small conversation to converse in Garifuna. So my aim is to make sure that this language is revived. It has become extinct, and my main purpose is to reinitiate the purpose of this language and to let the children know that our ancestors may have been gone a long time ago, but we want to bring this language back. And these kids are very interested and showing interest in doing so.
Music and dance facilitator Georgette Lambe is confident that the participants will appreciate and learn better the Garifuna culture more through the performing arts.
Music is also important in the language because the words that they're not familiar with, they could also learn it. So my goal is for the kids to learn as much songs as they could suck in their 2 years ago when I came, they picked up like nine different songs, different genre in the Garifuna music and dancing. So the kids are well in understanding and picking up the music, and they love it so much. We do drumming along with the songs and dance. So my goal is to retrieve Garifuna Dwonis as much as possible through music, and for the dance, for us not to lose the dancing. And so with that, I would say that I am impressed. Today I was teaching the kids 2 songs, and I had goosebumps to see how fast they picked up, and I just called it and I said, you call and answer, and they were gone with it. So I'm very proud and I'm excited to be here.
Some of the local facilitators shared their experience in being a part of the Yuga Cure workshop.
I'm one of the team leads, and I'm currently helping with a play that we are doing called Tears of Exile. And here at the workshop, we help teach the Garifuna language, dance and songs, and sometimes we even do a little bit of the food. And our goal is to just revive the Garifuna culture and make the public aware. We also have a mass that we're going to on Thursday, and we're inviting a lot of people to come out and see and enjoy what we have to offer.
I've been a part of Yoga Cure for 5 years. I help Miss Christine with language class. I love being here, and I wish that we could be speaking this language again soon.
I do the Yoga Cure program for 5 years, and I'm here helping Miss Christine with the language class, and I dance choreography as well. And being here at the Yoga Cure program, it means something to me, and one day I hope that we can be speaking our native language again, and I hope more people will join us every time we go along each year.
I've been to Yoga Cure for 5 of the 6 years they're here. Last time they were here in 2015, I directed the play Tears of Exile. What is remarkable this year is that this year they're actually using students from the program who were here for several years to teach this stuff. So they're no longer bringing a choreographer from overseas. They're no longer bringing someone specifically to teach the music, because we are doing it now. Yoga Cure to me has been very educational. It has enlightened me about several of my historical past, and I'm what we call a cultural enthusiast. So for that I'm very grateful for the contributions of the facilitators.
I've been here for 6 years now, and I learn a lot, and I'm just urging you all guys to come out and learn as well, because it's more about our culture, and our culture is very important.